Hey everyone, it's Sam, owner and operator of Homemade Mama, and in this video I'll be showing you how I render down my beef tallow. The way I like to do it, my preferred way to do it, is once I get my hands on a bunch of fat, I like to grind it through the grinder, and you'll see when it's melted how it's very clean. And then I just freeze them in baggies. This bag was close to 10 pounds, so it's a bigger batch. I normally do 5-pound bags, which makes it a lot more manageable, and I get to use my smaller pot, but this is all I had left to do. So you'll see that rendering tallow is very repetitive, but it is super simple. All I'm doing is putting it all in the pot. Once it's in there, I put about 4 cups of water, depending how much, and a bunch of salt. Once it's melted down, I'm just removing all the meat pieces. As you can see, it's just meat. There's no waste, which this will be given to the dogs. Whenever people leave them in chunks, I find there's so much wasted. You can see the fat still on it, and here it's all meat. So I usually only use the strainer one time because this was a bigger batch. I will be doing it twice just to speed up the cleaning process. The more meat there is in your tallow, the more you're gonna have to render it down. So basically, that's it. That's the first time, and it's gonna go in the fridge. The next day, I'm popping it out, and that is all gelatin. And it's actually rather satisfying to do this part, but anyways, you just scrape the bottom off and do the same process. Clean it up nicely. We'll take out as much of it off so you're not doing double the work. Then you cut it, put it back in the pot on low heat, and you want low heat because whenever it melts too fast and it gets too boil, you're gonna boil out your water, which you need, and I'll just be adding the salt and water again and doing that again. So as most of you know, I love supporting local farmers. So a lot of people already buy a quarter or half cow, but you have to request the tallow. And it's such a practical, it's got so many uses. This is all I use for cooking anything from donuts, my french fries, eggs, my steak, and it's a healthy fat. It's better than using any type of seed oil. And if you already buy a cow, you've already paid for it. Other uses I use for it is I've made face lotion, soaps, but I mainly use it for cooking, of course. All this process may seem like it takes me a really long time, but overall I spend about 15 minutes a day because it doesn't take long to melt. And you can see what I'm doing. It's not very time consuming. Obviously, this video is meant to speed things up, but overall, it took about 15 minutes each day until I'm trying. As you can see, it's getting cleaner and cleaner, that little spot in the middle every day. And you're going to keep doing this until there's nothing and the water is nice and clear. The water is looking decently clear, but this is a big batch, and the cleaner it is, the better shelf stable it'll be. Mind you, this doesn't typically, it's not like I'm keeping all of this for a year. I use it, this will all be gone probably within 6 months. Some people worry that there may or may not be a smell because it is an animal fat. I don't find that at all. I don't know if I'm used to it, but there is a trick. You can add a tiny bit of baking soda. When I do it, I found it foamed a lot, so I only do it with like in the first couple batches, but I don't continue to do it. And again, it's a fat and it's not going to stay in there. It's going to come out of the bottom just like what I'm doing with adding the salt. So finally it is nice and clean. You see there's no yellow or brown spots on it. So this will be my final melt. So I'm not going to add any water or any salt. I'm just going to melt it. Now I'm just going to ladle them into my sanitized jars. And obviously you can put them in the fridge after. I tend to leave it on the counter. The only time I'll put it in the fridge is whenever I'll show you in the video, whenever you can see the water in it. I'll put it in the fridge so I can just clean them out faster, but it doesn't take long for them to set on the counter. So this is the last of my jars, and once I close them, you'll see right here the separation. That's all water at the bottom. So I'm going to put it in the fridge upside down, and once it cooled, you'll see when I open the lid and pop it open, there was about 2 jars that I did this with, and that's all water. So there's no water now in my tallow. And I melted the 2 jars that I'm taking the water out to condense it into one. And that's it. That's the whole process of rendering tallow. It seems very time consuming, but it's not hard at all. Anyone can do it with, as long as you got a pot and some tallow. And so now I have all of these beautiful jars of tallow. If you like more of these videos, subscribe.